Hello viewers, I am Pratichi Dash, lecturer in M.Comm Finance and Control. Welcome to the UN College digital class. In our previous class, we had discussed about international finance, international financial system, international monetary system, the evaluation of monetary system. In the evaluation of monetary system, we had discussed the bimetallism monetary system, the gold standard system, the interwar period and the Bretton Woods system. In the Bretton Woods system, we had discussed there are two institutions created. One is IMF and another one is the World Bank. Today our topic is International Monetary Fund or IMF. So, what is IMF? IMF or International Monetary Fund is an organization working to foster global monetary cooperation of 189 countries to secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and to reduce poverty around the world. The organization formed with a stated objective of stabilizing international exchange rate and facilitating development. The International Monetary Fund is an organization of 189 countries for securing financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and reduces poverty around the world. The IMF has the membership of countries, that are 189 countries are the member of the countries. Recently Nauru is the member country in which joined IMF in 2016. The headquarters of IMF is Washington DC. Total executive board directors are 24 members in the IMF. There are 2670 members, approximately 2670 members from 154 countries are the staff of IMF. The total quotas of IMF is 360 billion US dollar, and the biggest borrower of IMF are the Greece, the Portugal and the Ireland. The IMF was conceived in July 1944 when representatives of 45 governments agreed on a framework for international economic cooperation. The IMF was started after the Bretton Woods Conference in 1944, and the IMF came into formal existence in December 1945 when its first 29 member countries signed its Articles of Agreement. It began operations on 1947 1st March. Later that year, France became the first country to borrow from the IMF. In April 1943, the Lord Keynes evolved a plan for resolving clear of international payments. This plan came under the joint scrutiny of American and British government in April 1944. The plan for an IMF was put into final form at a United Nations conference held at Bretton Woods with 45 members. The par value system, which was created in Bretton Woods system, the member countries agreed to peg their currencies in US dollar terms, and for US the value of dollar in terms of gold to correct fundamental disequilibrium. To become a member, a country must apply and then be accepted by a majority of the existing members. India became a member of IMF in 1945. Here we will discuss about the structure of IMF. The IMF consists of Board of Governors and Ministerial Committees. The Board of Governors is the highest decision making body of the IMF. The governor is appointed by the member country and usually the Minister of Finance or the head of the central bank. The governor of IMF is normally the Minister of Finance or the head of central bank of member countries. And in the ministerial committees, the IMF Board of Governors is advised by two ministerial committees. One is International Monetary and Financial Committee, which has 24 members, which meets twice a year. One is spring session, another one is the annual session. Here they discussed matters of common concern affecting the global economy and communiques the provide guidance for the IMF's work program. And in developmental committee there are 24 members, a joint committee tasked with advising IMF and World Bank, and they discuss the issues related to economic development. Mrs. Kristalina Georgieva from Bulgaria is managing director and chairman of the executive board from October 1, 2019. There are different functional departments of IMF. The functional departments of IMF are Financial Department, Fiscal Affairs Department, Monetary and Capital Market Department, Legal Department, Strategy Policy and Review Department, Research Department and Statistics Department. The different functional departments of IMF have different functions who are playing different role for stabilizing the exchange rate and maintaining the economical balance. There are different resources from which IMF collect the money for the function of its. The IMF has different resources. One is quota system or quota resources, another one is the bilateral resources. The quota resources of IMF is used in three ways: to determine the voting rights of the country, to determine the contributions of the countries to IMF, and to set a guideline for the level of resources a country can borrow. And another one is the bilateral contribution. Through bilateral contribution, after quota contribution, the IMF has another contribution, that is bilateral contribution or bilateral resources, through which IMF collect its funds and stabilize its economy, stabilize the global economy and provide funds to the country who need it. The main functions of IMF are the surveillance, the financial assistance and the technical assistance. In case of surveillance, IMF provide different types of economic analysis or economic advice and different types of investment advices to the countries. In surveillance, it appraises each member's exchange rate policies within overall analysis of general economic situations. In financial assistance, IMF provides support for the purpose of loans to the countries for the stabilization of or for the equilibrium of balance of payment problems for the low income countries. In the technical assistance, IMF provide advice and support in the purpose of technical issues which are related to macroeconomic policy. Different importance of IMF are explained through the brief discussions. First one is to bring about international monetary cooperation. IMF takes a step. The importance of IMF. The importance of IMF can be explained for its following works. The different works of IMF are: it work for international monetary cooperation, it promote and establish system of multinational trade and payments, it help member nations to achieve balanced economic growth, it ensure stability in foreign exchange rates, it reduce the disequilibrium in the balance of payments, it offers special aids or loans to member countries in solving their economic problem. IMF is consist of 189 countries. IMF work for making the monetary cooperation between the countries, that the money can be easily exchanged or one country's currency can be easily transferred from one country to another country. That is the step of IMF, or that is the work of IMF. IMF promotes an established system of multinational trade and payments. It helps member nations to achieve balanced economic growth. IMF ensures stability in foreign exchange rates. It reduces the disequilibrium which arises in balance of payment in the low income countries. It offers special aids or loans to member countries in solving their economic problem. The International Monetary Fund collaborated with different institutions. First one is the World Bank, another one is the Regional Development Banks, next is the World Trade Organization, the United Nations agencies and the international bodies. Different advantages to India being a member of IMF. As India is the member of IMF, it gets different advantages, that are financial assistance, help in foreign exchange crisis, membership of the World Bank, economic consultation, trading relationship and SDR's allotment and holdings by India. India get different advantages from as the member of IMF. India joined IMF at the year 1945. So it gets different benefits, that are different types of financial assistance from the IMF. IMF helps India at the stage of financial crisis or foreign exchange crisis. As the member of IMF, India get the membership of World Bank, different types of economic consultations like the fixing of exchange rate, the fixing of inflation rate and the fixings of currency rate must be consulted by IMF to India. India makes different types of trading relationships. India gets different advantages as being a member of IMF. India joined IMF in the year 1945. So different advantages as being a member of IMF which get India, that are financial assistance, help in foreign exchange crisis, the membership of the World Bank and the economic consultation, the trading relationship and special drawing rights allotment and holding by India. Different financial assistance are provided by International Monetary Fund as a member of IMF to India. As a member of IMF, India also get the membership of the World Bank. Different types of economic consultations are provided by IMF to India for fixing of exchange rate, for maintaining different types of interest rate, different types of inflation rate, and maintaining the balance of payment equilibrium. The trading relationships are maintained by India as a member of IMF with different countries, and India allotted the special drawing rights by IMF. The special drawing rights is an international reserve asset which is created by IMF. The value of SDR is based on 5 currencies, that is US dollar, euro, British pound, Japanese yen and Chinese renminbi. It is all about the International Monetary Fund, its creations, its resources, its membership, its advantages, and it provides different types of economic resources for stabilization of economy or stabilization of exchange rate in a whole world basis. Thank you.